All right, so let's talk about form when it comes to training. I could go on for hours and hours about so many different things, but the one thing I want to focus on that I feel is a major mistake that most people do when they're training that will help you fix so much is the rotation of your shoulders. So naturally, I find that most people have an anterior shoulder rotation. That just comes from years of poor posture. If you sit at a desk all day, if you drive a lot, if you travel for work, you're always rolling forward. Now, a good way to check to see if you're doing that is when you're standing, just very relaxed. If your hands are facing, if your palms of your hands are facing back, your shoulders are probably rotated the wrong way. Your hands should be facing your sides. So if your shoulders are pulled back, as they should be, you'll notice your hands, the palms of your hands are facing towards the sides of your thighs. So that's a good way to make sure that you're always standing in the correct posture. Now, take that into the weight room. So everything you do, you should always be in this position. Those of you that train with me, what's the biggest cue I give everybody? Chest up, always chest up. What that's doing is locking your spine into a safe place. When you're like this, even though in your mind you're standing up straight, you're really not. Your spine is contracted and rounded forward. You want it to be tight. Everything you do, not only is that putting your spine in a safe position, but it's also enabling you to do everything correctly. If you're rounded over when you're doing a chest press, you're not using your chest, you're all rounded over and your pecs are pulling inward. You want to pull them up. Pec deck, same thing, out. Shoulder press, lat pull down. Doesn't matter what it is, even bicep curls. If your shoulders are back how they should be, you can contract and stretch the bicep to the longest point. If you're rounded forward, you just shorten your bicep. So it doesn't matter what movement you're doing, rotating your shoulders the correct way will help with everything. Now, let's take that a step further for those of you that do compete. Now, this can be used just for posture in general too, for those of you that don't compete. But if you are a competitor, with posing, that's a huge thing. Shoulders in the right position in order to get your lats out and flare them. You never want to be rounded forward. A trick that can help you to practice that. This is just like a broom handle or something, it's a sweep thing. So take it behind your shoulders. I have it like right on my rear delts. So if you notice, I'm getting my shoulders to kind of cap a lot more. So what this is doing is stretching my pecs out. A lot of times, if you have trouble rotating your shoulders that way, it's because your pecs are too tight. A lot of people overwork chest, that's common too, which causes your pecs to be too tight. So this can help to stretch your pecs out and help you to get your shoulders in the correct position for when you're posing, but also just when you're standing, because even if you're not a competitor, we always want to have good posture, right? So think about that, try this exercise, it feels really good, especially after you've trained. You can do it straight arm too if you have something long enough and just kind of like roll it back and forth, even like you can grab it and roll back and forth. But definitely to get your shoulders in the right position, just put it right behind your rear delts, flare your shoulders out, stay nice and tight. So give that one a try and just be wary all the time. It's great to have good form when you're in the gym, but in your day-to-day life, which is what you spend the majority of your time doing, if you do this in the gym and then walk around and sit like this all day, you're never gonna have good posture because those muscles just aren't getting worked in the right direction. So think about that. It can really help you a lot in your training, in your day-to-day life, and just to walk around looking good and presenting yourself all the time.